Today we begin something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Welcome to the Chicago White Sox franchise. I've been excited to finally try making some franchise content again this year, even though I've waited so long now to get started. But the opportunity to rebuild my favorite team the year after the season they had, I just can't pass that up. Because yes, I bear the unfortunate burden of considering myself a Chicago White Sox fan. And the obvious doesn't even need to be said, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Last year, the Chicago White Sox were the worst MLB team ever, with 41 wins and 121 losses. And it was not supposed to go like this, man. This team was supposed to still be in the midst of its window after the last rebuild, but instead, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And now to start 2025, we are left with this. That's a lot of red. I did have to do some things to make sure I had the roster I wanted to get this franchise started. And first off, I'm actually using the #1 most downloaded custom roster in the vault right now. My main concern was with having the roster set the way that it was on opening day, which is what this custom roster is. And looking into it, there's a lot of research and a lot of data that went to building each player's attributes. And I mean, it's most downloaded for a reason, so I trust it. There was just 2 attribute tweaks though that I needed to make, and that's because on these base rosters, Sean Burke had like 33 stamina, so I boosted him up to 73, and Shane Smith was a relief pitcher, so I had to bump up his stamina and change his position. But other than that, I didn't tweak any ratings, and the opening day roster is set identical to how it was in real life, even down to the injuries. There was a way to manually apply injuries, so any injuries to someone on the 40-man roster at the time of opening day I applied. So Josh Rojas and Mike Tauchman start the year on the 10-day IL just like they did for real. And then of course you have the big ones, some Tommy John surgeries, Prelander Baroa, Drew Thorpe, Kai Bush, they're going to be out for the year. And then the one last thing that I did just to get things set is before opening day, the White Sox traded Jake Eder to the Angels for cash. You can't trade for cash in this game. So once I got the franchise mode set up, I traded Eder to the Angels for their lowest rated relief pitcher. I then released that relief pitcher, and then I signed Dan Altavilla to a 1-year deal to fill that relief pitcher spot. So with everything set up, this is the roster we're wheeling out there for opening day of the 2025 season. And even with how much red there is and how low each position is ranked, I actually don't think this roster is in as bad of shape as it would appear to be. There are a lot of good building blocks in this system, the main one being our only A potential in the organization, Noah Schultz. He's already a 72 overall, he's only 21 years old, and he headlines what I actually think could be a solid future rotation with just what we have right now. Because we also have Hagen Smith, another 21-year-old, he's a B potential, but he's already 73. You can't forget about Drew Thorpe, who is on the injured list for this whole season with his Tommy John, but he's a 73 overall with a B potential, and he's young. Grant Taylor is a starting pitcher still as he's coming up. He's a B potential. He's 70 overall. He's 22 years old. And then to round out our B or better potential starting pitchers, you got Jonathan Cannon, who is in the MLB right now. He's 24. He's a 74 overall. And the thing about these 5 B potentials or better is they're all already at least a 70 overall. That's like usable. Not even to mention some of our other pitchers who are C potentials. Sean Burke is 77. Shane Smith at a 75. I don't hate where the pitching is at. And I especially like where the catching's at. Because one of our biggest prospects to get things started is Kyle Teal, already at a 76 overall with that B potential. He's 23 years old. The hitting's already there. He'll be fine in the field. He's just a good all-around catching prospect. And then you can't forget that we also have Edgar Caro, a switch hitter, a couple years younger, a little bit lower of an overall, but the hitting is also looking really good already. Of course, you can't not mention Colson Montgomery. His hitting is definitely MLB ready already. I probably won't be waiting as long as the real-life White Sox did to call him up. And then the last of the big prospects to talk about is Braden Montgomery. He does feel like he needs a little bit more time, even though he is also already a 72 overall, but another switch hitter, another young guy who's already a 70 plus. If you just look at those main prospects in that young core coming up, we've definitely got something here. And then of course you've got the big name, what do you do with Luis Robert Jr.? He's an 84 overall on these rosters with a B potential, still only 27 years old. But the big thing to point out is the contract option situation that he has in real life doesn't seem to apply for the next 2 seasons. He just straight up is on a deal for 3 more years, not even getting paid $10 million either year. So if we're talking strategy, obviously we got to play it by ear with who we're going to trade and what moves to make, but moving Luis Robert Jr. as soon as possible is not a priority to me. I think we see how he does. We see if that overall gets any better. We see what kind of season he has. And I mean, hey, let's not rule out if we can turn things around quick enough, maybe he's just a part of it. But speaking of turning things around quick, that's not going to be very easy. Not just because we have the second lowest budget in the league at 100.5 million, but I'm also giving myself a rule that I have to follow throughout this entire franchise when it comes to how we spend money, because I feel like we all know, whether or not you're a White Sox fan, the White Sox biggest contract they've ever given out to a player is the current Andrew Benintendi deal, which originally was for 5 years and $75 million total. They have never paid a player more than $75 million. So my rule for this series is based around that $75 million being the largest contract in franchise history. To start out, we can't go over that. The most we can offer somebody in total is $75 million. However, we can bump that up if we earn it. And earning it is going to be very simple. For each win that we can record past the 41 win mark of last season, we can add $1 million onto what our max contract offer is. So for example, let's say here in season 1 we win 66 games. That's an improvement of 25 wins. That would add $25 million to what we can offer to one individual player, bringing our maximum contract we can offer to an individual player up to $100 million. Then moving forward into future seasons, each season it resets back down to that 41 wins, and then for each win we get over that 41 in the next season also adds $1 million. So basically we're not going to be able to make any big splash moves anytime soon. Now, one last thing that I find important to talk about before we get started is going to be the gameplay aspect of this franchise mode. Because if you don't know me, I play a lot of March to October on this channel, and in that mode, how you play as a user with your team matters a lot. So I kind of want to carry some of that over. I want the gameplay aspect and how I play to matter just as much as the team that I can put on the field. So basically, that's just to say I will be using the PCI, I'll be using pinpoint pitching, meter throwing, but I'm going to be doing that all on GOAT difficulty. I am going to be setting the gameplay style though to simulation, so there is still going to be that aspect there of relying on the player ratings. It's just not going to be to the degree that I feel like a lot of other franchise people do, where they put the hitting on just timing and other sorts of things that basically leave the gameplay entirely up to player ratings. I still want what I do to matter. I will say though, this first season we're going to be moving through at a pretty quick pace, mainly because I'm getting such a late start, and I also don't expect to be competitive in year 1. We're probably going to get through about a month per episode. I have the whole custom game entry stuff set up, so for this first season we'll probably be doing a lot of that. But moving on to year 2, I'm going to make it a point to play a full 9-inning game in each episode. But with that all said, these are the lineups that we'll be putting on the field to start. This will be our 5-man rotation, and this is our bullpen. And let's get into our opening day matchup against the Angels. And here we go. Sean Burke taking the mound on opening day for only his 4th career major league start. And it might be worth mentioning, but I am going to be playing the games live for this franchise mode. It's just how I feel the most comfortable making videos, live recording rather than playing and then going back and commentating over the highlights. And then, you know, if I get frustrated by certain things, you're going to be able to see it. How about this though for first play? Is Baldwin going to be able to? No. That reminds me, though, I find it funny that the preseason projections for some of our stats, the game predicts that Colson Montgomery would lead the team in, I think it was like batting average, might have even been OPS and WAR. He's not even on the major league team right now, so I think the CPU is assuming it won't be long before I bring him up to the bigs. And they're stealing, popped it up. We got Michael A. Taylor out there in left today. He's going to handle that. And now we gotta deal with Mike Trout. The 5th pitch of the season from Sean Burke in his 4th career start is going to be to one of the greatest players of our generation. And he's trying to steal again. Another hit and run attempt. We're going to gun him down, though. I think that's Corey Lee behind the plate. And look at him with his arm gunning him down. And Mike Trout is gonna come away with a base hit. Couldn't find the put-away pitch there on a 1-2 count. We get a grounder to short, though. Baldwin should be able to handle this one, and we get through the first inning of Sean Burke's season scoreless. All right, now here's where things may look a little bit different if you're used to watching my videos. On the hitting side of things, I'm changing up the camera angle for this franchise. I feel like a little bit more of a zoomed out perspective is a little bit more immersive. We get to see, you know, the full player's batting stance. We get to see more of what's going on in the field. So this is it, and this is going to make playing on GOAT difficulty much more interesting, probably. Not just the toughest possible difficulty in the game, but also a camera angle that I'm not fully used to. Doesn't even matter. Our first base runner of the year is going to come on a hit by pitch. Robert Jr. Ooh, and then I get a fastball right down the pipe to Robert, and he pops it up. Don't let that be an omen for how his season's going to go. Oh, and Andrew Vaughn can't hold up on a 3-2 count. That could have been ball 4. Ooh, and then a painted fastball that gets Sosa sitting down. I guess that's not a very great way to start the season on GOAT difficulty. And we get a rollover grounder on a 3-2 count to Vargas. Still looking for Sean Burke's first punch out of the season. We've had a couple 2-strike counts. He can't find the put-away pitch. Another rollover to third, though, on 1 pitch. And is that a third rollover to third? That is a fair ball. And Vargas just barely doesn't get it there in time. I was not sure if that was going to stay a fair ball. It actually looked like it might have gone foul at the last second. Vargas has a strong arm, though, to make that even close. And now look who's up. It's Yoan Moncada, the return game. Can't let him be the one that beats me right here. Again, we just can't find the put-away pitch here. This is about to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and it's still just a 2-2 count. And it's a 3-2 count now. We don't get the check swing. We get him to swing at a fastball. That is going to get caught by Michael A. Taylor. I'm a little surprised that he's got nothing but yellow reactions so far. Ooh, and then I get a fastball blown by me. A lot of strikeouts so far. I'm definitely having to adjust to GOAT difficulty. For the most part, my eye is doing fine. I'm able to work counts. I'm able to take pitches off the plate. But then when it comes to actually doing something with a hittable pitch, I'm struggling. But I expected this. I haven't really done a ton of playing this game on GOAT difficulty, especially with a team in as rough shape as the White Sox are. I wasn't expecting to come out here and score a bunch of runs right away, and there's another strikeout. Hey, there we go. I actually made contact on a fastball. We gotta take baby steps. That's an improvement. And man, another 2-strike count, an 0-2 that time, and Sean Burke still can't pick up his first strikeout of the year. Okay, the game just doesn't want to give Sean Burke his first strikeout of the year, if that's anything to go by. And we get the pop-up. We're going to have to rely on weak contact, I guess. And more weak contact, but that is going to be an inning-ending double play. Sean Burke, even though he can't find the swing and the miss, he's off to a very solid start. Well, I hit another fastball. The timing improved slightly. We might be getting there. I just wish it wasn't coming at the expense of making first pitch outs. Vargas is going to secure the first base hit of the year, and actually he's going to try and stretch it to 2. 70 speed, and he's just in there. Miguel Vargas out of the 9-hole, looking for extra bases for the first hit of the season for the Chicago White Sox team. Maybe he's just going to have things figured out from the start for us. Slater, I waited back a little too far on that slider. That's not going to move anybody up to third. This is the type of situation, though, that your star player has to come through in. Runner in scoring position on second. 2 outs in the inning. We need a base hit to take the lead. And that one is not hit very well, but it is going to get down, and he comes through. Luis Robert Jr. picking up the first RBI of the season in the first run-scoring opportunity of the season. Now, how about his first base-stealing opportunity of the season? He didn't get the best jump. It was a fastball, but he's still going to be in there. 99 stealing. He does have 99 stealing on this roster build. And Vaughn, oh, I was all over that, just under it. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of that on GOAT difficulty. Man, I just cannot figure out the strikeout pitch with Sean Burke. We had Trout down 0-2 to start the inning, laid off of 3 straight pitches out of the zone, and now he's fouling off the pitches in it. Oh, that was maybe strike 3, though. Picture perfect backdoor circle change. Burke just doesn't get the call. He's a rookie. Trout's a veteran. And there it is. The first strikeout of the season for Sean Burke for this White Sox team comes in the 4th inning on a slider to Taylor Ward. Trout's taken off on the changeup. Corey Lee can't pick up another caught stealing, though. Gotta imagine if that wasn't an off-speed pitch, Lee gets him. But that's going to be another strikeout. Now the slider is working. And we pop him up. Lenyn Sosa under it, and we get through our 4th scoreless inning with Sean Burke. He really is looking like an opening day starter. Sosa hits that pretty hard to center. Is that going to get over his head up there? It's not. That's probably the hardest hit ball, though, yet. Benintendi's rolling over on the 12-6 left, right over the middle of the zone. There is definitely a few pitches I'm seeing that a little bit more needs to be done on. Oh, and then a chopper to third from Taylor. Definitely not the inning you want to follow up the last inning we had with. And that one's going to get caught by Sosa. Nice play, nice reaction on the line drive. A chopper, another chance for Sosa to show off at second. He's going to take it. And another pop-up. Lenyn Sosa responsible for all 3 outs of the inning. A very quick inning from Burke. Probably the only way he was going to be able to come back out for the 6th inning was to do what he just did. Corey Lee, man, on an 0-2 fastball right down the middle. We're just off on that one, too. Brooks Baldwin. Oh, that gets snagged by Shanuel at first. Well, now Vargas is going to come up with the bases empty again to try and get things started. That could have been huge. And swinging at the first pitch, we're giving Kikuchi his 2nd straight very quick inning after breaking through in the 3rd. Sean Burke just has to keep dealing, though. He is down into the yellow to start this 6th inning, but we're going to give him the start of this 6th inning at least. And he's going to start it by giving up a first pitch line drive down the line. I don't know if Taylor has the arm to prevent the double. He doesn't. I don't know how much difference a perfect throw makes. That one was still right on the money. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here, I was about to go to the bullpen to relieve Sean Burke. The first thing is I forgot. I've gotten so used to just being able to bring in whoever, whenever, that I need to warm somebody up first. But also with whatever data went into how these rosters were built, kind of the base stamina for relievers, instead of being 25, was like somewhere between 12 to 15. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because of our coaching staff or what, but a lot of our true relievers only have, like Penn Murphy here, 6 stamina. Cam Boozer has 4. Jordan Leisure has 5. Ellard 5. If that is something to do with our coaching staff, I might want to look into that after today's game. But for now, I do have to leave Sean Burke in since I forgot to get the bullpen up and loose. So he's got to get out of this jam. And does Lenyn Sosa have the range? He doesn't. Does Robert have the arm? He doesn't. So back-to-back hits here in the 6th inning to bring this game to a tie. And I think that is where we're going to have to call it for Sean Burke. He had a real nice opening day outing. We just extended him a little bit too far, probably. So we're going to turn the ball over to Mike Vassell. He doesn't have a stamina issue. He should hopefully be able to give me some bulk innings here if we need him. And this right here is his big league debut. And he has to make that debut against Mike Trout. Welcome to the show, Vassell. And he strikes out Mike Trout in his first career appearance, his first batter faced. Why aren't they making a big deal out of this? Nothing popped up to say that was his first career strikeout. That was, though, right? Yeah, he has no MLB stats prior to that. And now the ground ball. Could this be a double play? 55 speed. Baldwin gets it there in time. Look at Mike Vassell coming out of the bullpen, getting 3 outs in 2 batters faced. And Austin Slater drawing a walk. He's gotten himself on base in both innings he's led off. And that looks like it's going to be it for Kikuchi. I'm actually a little surprised. That was only about 58, 59 pitches maybe. Maybe a little over 60 if I wasn't keeping track. But they go to the lefty to face Luis Robert Jr., the only one who's driven in a run for us so far. Oh, and I strike out on the fastball on a 3-2 count right there for me at 94 miles per hour. I just didn't catch up to it. Andrew Vaughn, though, hits that somewhat well. It's going to get run down, though, by Joe Adele out there in center. It's up to Lenyn Sosa now with 2 outs. I think he still has the hardest hit ball of the game for me. If he can do that again in fine grass, we can take our lead right back. And I just couldn't quite get around on the fastball again. It's like a new arm's coming in and my timing left me. All right, well, Mike Vassell starts the 7th with another strikeout. And, oh, that one's going to sneak up through the middle. Jammed him, great pitch, just unfortunate. Oh, he's going to try and get to second on this. Come on, Lee. We got him. Great job there from Corey Lee blocking that, getting up quick enough. Didn't even need a perfect throw. And then another Mike Vassell strikeout. Look at him go. Oh, and now we have to deal with a very scary arm on GOAT difficulty. Ben Joyce coming into the game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. At least it's the bottom of the 7th he's coming in for and not later. Oh, and I was geared up for the heat. I timed that up. We just got to work on the PCI. Ooh, the sinker. I was actually too early on it. If I swung all the way, I think at least, maybe I should just be swinging anyway, just in case. And they call me for the swing. We have regressed. Absolutely nothing has been going since that 3rd inning that we scored our run. I'm relying on Mike Vassell, though, to keep it right where it's at. Just keep doing what he's been doing. And that's a great start. Weak line drive. Vargas is handling that. Vargas is fielded pretty well over there at 3rd today. And Sosa at 2nd. He's gotten a lot of chances too. Even with the yellow reaction there, he got to that one pretty easily. And another weak rollover. No strikeouts in the inning for Vassell, but he has been lights out. Another new arm coming in, this time back to a lefty. We got to do something about breaking this tie here. It's getting late. Brooks Baldwin, man, I got around on that. I put a pretty decent swing on that. We just didn't hit that one hard. Didn't read that too well. Waited back way too long. I thought that was breaking out of the zone, but no, that was right there. Slater, though, with 2 outs. Does that have enough to get down in the gap? It doesn't, man. Joe Adele runs it down in the gap. I really thought that was going to get down. Well, if we're winning on opening day, it's going to have to be a walk-off. And Mike Vassell gave us 3 very good innings. But now it's time to go to Cam Boozer, the new acquisition for this season. And I'll be curious to see what sort of effect this whole 4 stamina thing has. I mean, 1 pitch, the energy bar didn't really go down at all. So maybe it doesn't really matter a ton. And we get a rollover on the second pitch. Another chance for Sosa. A lot of ground balls thrown by this pitching staff. And even Mike Trout, that's not a ground ball, but it may as well be. Weak pop up to the infield. That was the scary one for this inning. Taylor Ward's still a good bat, though. We can't take him lightly. A ground ball. He is going to keep the inning going. Still, we're not giving up the hard contact. We've given up plenty of hits, but a lot of them haven't even been hit hard. That could have been strike 3, but instead it's 3-2. Runner on first is going to be on the move. Fastball up and away, freezes him though. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. Tie ball game at 1. 2, 3, 4 in the order due up. Who's going to come through? It looks like they're sticking with Brock Burke, so Luis Robert gets to face another lefty. That's probably the best matchup we can have throughout this inning, is sticking with the lefties. We just got to get around on that fastball. Oh, I got 2 around on that fastball. Oh, he's dialing it in, man. 3 straight hard hit foul balls. Oh, and now I don't think we're going to beat this one out. That was me attempting to check swing and the game didn't give it to me. And I strike out on basically the same pitch that Robert grounded out on. That up and in slider. And then first pitch, we're popping it up. We are headed to extra innings on opening day. All right, well, I'm going to turn the ball over to another new acquisition for this season, Penn Murphy. He's got an 85 pitching clutch rating, which is what matters in a situation with a runner in scoring position like it is in extra innings. And look at what he's doing. Look at the dot to secure the first out of the 10th. And that is going to get caught by Robert. The only question is, will he tag up to go to third? He won't. We're keeping him there. That's 2 big outs for Penn Murphy. He just needs 1 more to finish the job. And the slurve jams him. Vargas makes the play. He gets it over there, and we're headed to the bottom of the 10th. We're going to have a runner on second. All we need to do is bring it around. They're going to another new lefty, Jose Quijada. What do I want to do strategy-wise? Benintendi up. He doesn't feel like the kind of guy I'd want to lay down a bunt with, but I'm going to. I have to at least try and get it down that third base line. Give Sosa a lane to make it up to third. Okay. Ooh, we're not even going to need to bunt him over to third. A wild pitch on the bunt attempt, and now on a 2-1 count, because I did pull that bunt back, we get Benintendi swinging away. Infield in, we just need to hit one up in the air. Oh, and I'm again too far out in front of the fastball. I've figured out the low to mid 90s right now too well. That is going to get down the line. Andrew Benintendi walks it off on opening day. The largest contract in White Sox history. I don't know. Is it paying off? Wow, and after no celebration, they just cut me right to the end here. The fans are still going crazy. What an exciting way to kick off the season. We did take the rest of the opening series at home against the Angels, simulating a 5-3 win in Game 3 of the series on Sunday after losing Game 2, 3-1. But that is where Episode 1 today is going to come to a close. Next time out, I do plan on getting through the entirety of the month of April. Like I said, we're going to be making our way through this first season pretty quickly with the team being in the state that it is. And one last thing before I go, I am always open open to your feedback in the comments. This is not my first time attempting to make franchise content, and I feel like in the past I've always struggled with it. This has always been something I haven't been able to nail down the exact format for how I want to make these videos. But the biggest thing is I just want to do it. So it might be a learning process to nail down the format of each of these videos. Maybe what you saw today won't necessarily be what you see moving forward in terms of how maybe, you know, the editing is structured. Maybe I do sprinkle in a little bit more post-game commentary, but like I said, I am always open to your feedback. Whatever you guys want to see and whatever I can make happen, I'm totally on board for taking it into account. But for now, I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the White Sox franchise, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. But thank you for watching episode 1 today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.